Alright guys, so welcome back to IG8Live Esports. It has been a while since we've actually had esports race here since F1 2020. Everyone's kind of eased off the seasons and just waited to get on to F1 2021. So we seem to have a full grid here with Slipstream Racing for round 1 for the first new season here on the new game. There have been some issues reported so far on the game, but other than that, hopefully we should have a good race coming up. The guys have been practicing quite a bit on the new cars so far, so hopefully everything is going well in terms of handling with the car so far. We'll see how well that is going to go through today. So we're in qualifying 1 going through at the moment still here. No lap times posted as yet. We do have a full grid of 20 drivers, which is good to see here with Slipstream, and I think hopefully we should get a pretty good start to the race by the time we get around to that for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's going to be here for round 1 at least. We will go through a bit of the rest of the calendar sorted later on in the session, but for now let's see what we got going on here in qualifying 1. Still got some time left in. We got a yellow flag going on in sectors 1 and 2 at the moment. Quite a few cars out on track. I think a few cars still in the pits at the moment. Let's have a look and see if we can get a few more details on here at the moment. I don't think we really needed telemetry on. I think I did see someone just had a spin down at the back there. Not sure who that was. We already got 3 drivers out of qualifying 1 for some reason here. Now, it is the first race of the season. It's still a new game for everyone so far. So everyone is still getting a bit used to the handling of the car so far. And so there might be some issues in terms of handling going on through the session. We'll see how that works out, but so far so good, as we got Neil in with the first lap time here, and that's a 1:43.1. We're gonna see who's gonna be the next car to get on in here. I was trying to see where Draft is at the moment, getting through on track right now. Also, we do get to have a pretty good look at the liveries on the 2021 cars, which we have seen in actual F1, but still pretty interesting to see in the game what it actually does look like, and it looks pretty good so far as we've been practicing and checking out, see what features they actually had to offer this year with the game so far. Trying to have a look at our grid and see what we got going on. I think majority of the grid is easily recognizable from what we had with PGL for the last season on F1 2020. Name has just changed over to Slipstream Racing. Also guys, the Discord invite link for the league, if you guys want to get on with the league, because they have multiple days that they do race, and I think they're trying to fill up a Saturday league here at the moment. So the league Discord invite is in the description of the video as well, so do check it out if you do need to join on with the Discord, because I just put that in there. It's now dropped with 142.7. so far so good with the 3 lap times that we have in. We got Christoph's at 144.0, so not overly close off with the lap times as it is so far. We're trying to have a look and see what improvements we're going to get as we get on through. Got BV out on track here right about now. We can hear the different engine songs, which is quite interesting. I haven't actually taken a close listen to that so far since the game has actually been out to actually just, you know, have a look at what they actually sound like, and it's quite different from what we used to experience with F1 2020. So far so good on that end of it there, because we can hear quite a difference when you do get on board with the cars and see what's going on with them. We still got Beefy on the outlap, quite a few drivers on outlap still waiting for some more lap times to come in. We got Sofdar with a 2:07 40 there. Still needs to try and improve that as much as possible. I think that's around where I used to go on F1 2020. I haven't had a lap here at Spa since this game actually has been out. I haven't driven quite a few of the tracks, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Bills goes 2:05. Might want to try to improve that. They do need to make it over to qualifying 2, of course. I think we got about 11 minutes left here in Q1 so far. It's going quite interestingly well. We do have a few drivers out of the session. Unfortunately, we do have incidents happening in qualifying as it's getting through. It's gonna be really interesting to see what the race is gonna be like here, though. I think it's actually the first actual online lobby I've actually been on since It's actually been out as well. I haven't really gotten a chance to test out the online lobby to see what exactly is different or what's new or what's not. We'll see what the differences are as we get on through with that. But at the moment, so far, just waiting for a few more lap times to come on in. We're on with Beefy here at the moment, just waiting for him to get a lap time in. Driving for AlphaTauri this season here. Let's see where he goes at the end of this current hot lap that he's on here. Seems to be on a pretty good lap. Let's get on board a bit and see how he's getting on through with the lap. I think he's probably in sector 2 here, getting through here where he is at the moment. Remember, it is a pretty long lap here around the Spa circuit for this qualifying here. So especially for the races, there could be quite a bit of less with the laps that we're going to be doing, but should be quite interesting. Well, we'll see what's going to happen by the time we get around to that. The longer laps will be a bit interesting. I think it's quite an interesting circuit for the first race of the season there as well. As I've noticed, quite a few leagues actually are doing Belgium for the first race of their season, and actually on today, this specific day itself. So we'll see what's going to happen. He seems to be getting a bit edgy with that car, getting around there at the moment. Hopefully they all have had enough practice on the track getting up to this evening here to get onto this race. We'll see what's going to happen with that. But so far, just a few lap times in. We're waiting for a few more to come in, as should have Beefy getting across the line here. Let's see how fast he does go. Actually goes fastest in the section so far at 142.721, about 2/10 faster than what dropped it, so really not too bad with a lap time so far. It's starting to get maybe a bit competitive out front. Chris up to the 143.5. Neil out of the session, unfortunately, with a 143.1. It will hold up pretty well for him. Might actually hold off and take him through to Q2. We'll see how that's going to work out. We got Mikey here in the Ferrari. Let's see where he is going to go. And goes to 142.8, puts him up into P3. Not a bad position to be in right about now. Trying to have a look if anyone else is on a lap here at the moment. Looks like we got Chris here in the Aston Martin, and of course used to be Racing Point, but now interesting green color. And he has invalidated his lap, unfortunately, so I think that's going to be it for him for now. He does have enough time though to try this once again. Still about 8 minutes left here in qualifying. Got Owen in the McLaren getting around here at the moment. And yep, he is on a hot lap, so let's see where he takes and he takes that car into the wall. Unfortunately, that's him out of the session, as that entire right front is off. So there are still some issues in terms of controlling these cars as we go on through. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this PSN name. We're just gonna go with XS for now, and that's him into the barrier 0 as well, and out of the session. Unfortunately for that, Williams, the entire rear guest came off. Just goes to show what can happen getting on through here. So a bit of a difficult qualifying session for the first round here on the new season with F1 2021 and Slipstream Racing, but gonna be interesting still to get on through to the race itself. Let's have a look at Mr. Rage here in the Red Bull. Do find it quite interesting how the sparks coming off at the back of the car is quite more visible here on 2021 than it was on F1 2020. Okay, so let's keep on board a bit with Mr. Rage and see where he goes at the end of this. I haven't heard too much information in terms of if these lobbies are as glitchy as what we had with F1 2020, because we do remember how annoying that used to be. That was quite a situation that we just want to get away from. We're hoping that we're not going to be having that here on F1 2021, but we'll see what's going to happen, as we'll be able to see that from my end at least, and hopefully no glitches getting on through the entire session. There goes Mr. Ray, second on the grid at the moment here for Q1 with 5.5 minutes left in the session. 142.351, about 3/10 slower than what Beefy did, so he's still holding on to P1. Interestingly here, and he's getting back into the pace there right now. Let's have a look who else is out here running a lap at the moment. I think we might have Walker on a lap here as well in the next AlphaTauri. Let's have a look if he's on actually on a hot lap or not. I think he's about to finish off that lap there, so we're gonna see if he is able to actually make a time that puts him maybe up into the top 3 or not. Let's have a look as he gets across the line and puts him into 8 only for now. 148.4. Now it is actually been proven to be a bit of a difficult qualifying session for the guys here so far in terms of getting lap times in and just not DNFing the session. So Q1 has not been probably how these guys actually expected it to go. Now they have had the practice on the tracks. They have been on the game for at least since it came out about over 2 weeks ago, but still it takes some time to actually get used to these cars and to the tracks as it is. Now the guys all know the tracks as it is, but just getting the cars around here still is going to be a bit difficult. We'll see what the race session will be like when we do get around to that. Might be quite an interesting race start as we get around to the 4th lap of it, so we'll see what's going to happen in that case. Hopefully goes out pretty well, because we are looking to get back fully onto these streams for you guys getting through from today onwards. So hopefully everything goes well with that, as most of the leagues are starting up just around this week with their first race of the season getting on through. And let's have a focus on this and have a look on how much time we do have left here in the session. Trying to have a look at that right now. Clarky here in the Haas. Quite an interesting livery from them this year going on through. Does look pretty good in the game though, I'll be honest about that. And there goes an Aston Martin without a wing. We got 2 tires left on the side of the track. Bit of a glitch where Clarky just came off from. Not sure what's happening with that there. Still got stopped out trying to make a faster lap here in the Mercedes. Did a 2-minute trying to get something better than that. Fastest time still is being held by Beefy at 142.3, which is going to be quite good enough to take him on over into qualifying 2. Of course, we had full grid of 20 drivers here, so we're going to have, at least we should have 15 drivers make it on over to qualifying 2. We'll see what's going to happen in that case, because I know a few drivers were out of the session pretty early out, so we'll see what the game actually decides in that case there, if it's going to be 15 or probably less, I'm not sure. Alright, so we got stopped about to get back across the line here. Looks like he's getting a much faster time here now, a 142.295. Goes fastest in the session and puts himself up in the P1 there. So about a 10th faster, and that's actually quite impressive that he has there so far. I think we get about to close off this qualifying session here. Bill's here still trying to get a faster time in the Haas here. Him and Clarky are teammates apparently for this one. See if there is going to be possible. I think he's getting back into the pits here though. Yep, he is. So trying to have a look if anyone else is still running on track here. Cody there with the invalidated lap, getting that Aston Martin back into the pits. Quite interesting, actually shows us what lap these drivers are on apparently, or how many laps are currently running. So lap 2 here for Chris. We got just about a minute and a half here left for qualifying 1, and then we're gonna head on straight into Q2, see what it's gonna be like there. Seems like something's dragging on that car, unfortunately. Or at least the songs that way, I'm not sure. Either way, we do have quite a few lap times in. Fastest time stopped are 142.2. Slowest time so far is a 144 there from Stu B there. Hopefully you can make it over to qualifying 2 and get a better time, and we'll see what's going to happen with that. But interesting with at least half of the first half of the grid with the lap times that they do have, all going all the way to the 143s. Might be a little bit more competitive getting into Q2. Maybe the guys are going to get a bit more comfortable with the track there as well with the cars on it. We'll see what's going to happen. And hopefully the race session goes off without any major incidents at the start. But we already have an idea what might be happening in that case. So we'll see what's going to happen as we get around to it. And I think we're about to close off Q1 here and just have a quick look at the results before heading on over to Q2. So let's see what's going to happen. I think we're just 3 drivers getting back into their garages right about now, and then we can make a switch over to the results, and then let's see what's happening in that case there. Alright, so results here for qualifying 1 with Slipstream Racing. We got solved our fastest lap so far in the Mercedes there. We got Beefy in 2nd, Mr. Rich took 3rd, and Naman Troft in 4th, Bills there 5th, Mikey in 6th, Neil 7th, Christophs in 8th, Cody in 9th, Walker in 10th, Clark 11th, Chris in 12th, and looks like it's only going to be that 12 getting on over into qualifying 2. And for some reason it's not allowing us to scroll on through to see the rest of them, but either way, really don't need to at this point, but I did expect it would allow us to do that. As I said, I haven't actually checked out much of the features on the spectator mode so far on it, just a few of it, but let's see what's going to happen as we get on through. Oh, I think it's allowing. Oh, yes, it's allowing now. My bad. I didn't realize I had to click that. But either way, we just want to see who was getting on through to Q2, and yeah, let's see how it's going to go on from there. Hey Cody, what is up? And thank you for the follow there on Twitch. I think that makes us to 52 followers on Twitch there now. Doing pretty well on that side of it as well. I can see all the chat, whether it's Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. I do have the multi-stream chat on, so I'm able to see whatever is going on. I'm not sure how much viewers we have on Twitch here at the moment, because I was just trying to have a look on YouTube and see what's up with that at the time. Let's see. So okay, so we're into qualifying 2 right about now. 15 minutes already started on the clock, and going pretty quickly through this one. It did seem like qualifying 1 was ending, but now we're in qualifying 2. We're already down to close to by a minute away already. So 14 minutes about that left with 12 drivers in this. Let's see what's gonna happen. I know we do have someone heading out on track here already, and that is Savdar at the moment. As he gets on out, and hopefully you guys can hear me well because I'm moving around this chair quite a bit. Let me just have a look. Telemetry, we're not really going to keep that on lab data yet, and I think we're going to put tires on for this one. Let's see what the tires are going to be using for this session. At least we will be putting telemetry on down in the race session itself, just to have a look and see what is going to be happening in that case there. So guys, as we're getting started here with qualifying 2, just a bit of a reminder, make sure you guys are subscribed to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, which is basically the 2 main ones that we're usually on, and we do stream. The stream is live on Facebook as well. All links are in the description. Also, there is a link in the description for the league which we are currently streaming for. That's Slipstream Racing there, just to join their Discord if you do want to race with them, or actually that was a bit of a spin, or if you want to be a reserve driver, do get on in. Link is there and available for you guys. Also, there's a link in the description for joining our Discord as well. So do feel free to join on through with that one there as well. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of this right about now just to ease off and make sure that the stream does not go below the quality that it should. I don't want to have too much stuff running on the computer here, so I'm just easing that off a bit, just keeping on Streamlabs and see what's happening. Alright, so we should have some lap times coming in pretty quickly here. Let me just get that off screen so we can have a better look on what exactly is happening here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. I might be a bit rusty on this. I haven't done this in quite a few weeks, as I did ease off quite a bit on it, coming close to the release of F1 2021. I've been a bit busy as well. Do have some time now, trying to make some more time to get quite a few races with these leagues during the course of the week. We'll see how much we can cover as we get on through. We do have another race to cover tomorrow as well, 8 p.m. GMT time, or British time, whatever you guys call it. I'm not sure. Hopefully I do get the time zones right, because I'm in Eastern time here in the US. I'm not on British time. So just always try to make sure that I get that correctly, and race times as well, just not to confuse it. Hopefully I am getting that correct, but let's see what's happening in this case here. So still following on with Savdar at the moment. We'll do a switch on that because he has invalidated whatever lap he was running on here. Let's see, Chris here. I think a new driver for me. I'm not even sure who this is. I'm not sure if he used to be drive on the previous season, but so far so good, because he has made it on over to qualifying 2. I'm gonna keep with Aston Martin for the moment because I just love the green in that car. So we'll just keep on that going on through. And let's see what the lap time is going to look like. He is running on the softs here in Q2, trying to get the best possible time out of that car. So let's see what the lap time is going to be like. I am seeing a bit of lagging happening on my end. I'm not sure if it's my end or if it's a driver's end. I have seen it 2 or 3 times here, there, over in Q1 as well. We'll see what that case is with that. Hopefully it's not any big issue, and hopefully that is sorted out through as we get on through the session. But so far so good in qualifying. I don't think qualifying 1 weren't as great as we all expected to actually go. It just kind of depends on how much practice guys have had on the game so far getting on through. Fastest time in the session goes to Christoph so far, 143.6 in the McLaren. Aston Martin with Chris goes 143.7, only a 10th off, so we're definitely getting a bit competitive here right about now. Switching on over to Cody here in the second Aston Martin. I'm not sure who's driving number 1, who's driving number 2, but I'll just switch that and just have a look and see as he gets across the line here right about now. Should have a pretty good time as well. Probably switch on back to Savdar in a bit. Bills goes 204. Cody goes 144.7. Not too far off, just by a second actually from what Chris did there. So Aston Martin keeping it second and third at the moment, trying to keep a pretty good position. We got Savdar in the Mercedes here, still trying to get a lap in. Seems to be going all over the place, though, having a bit of a difficult time with this. I'm not sure their thoughts are on it, but Savdar not having the best of luck here in Q2 so far on this current lap, as he's already invalidated that. So just waiting for someone else to get on out and have a look at what they're going to be doing. Mikey here just getting out in the Ferrari right about now as he gets through Sector 1. Let's get on board and have a listen to how that car actually sounds. Sorry guys, I'm now actually just listening to how the engine sounds are different on the 2021 cars I'm getting on. So Savdar is out of the session. He has retired from Q2. So that's going to be probably him out of Q3 there as well, because he doesn't have a lap time in. Going to be very difficult to actually make it on over to Q3 with that. So let's see what's going to happen. First lap, Mikey is going to be on here when he does get started on it. So that's a bit of a new feature. Of course, I don't like how they actually allow it to cover the timing on the session time as well, because we can see 8.5 minutes, but when it comes up and shows us that it's the first lap or 0 laps or 2 laps for the driver, it just blocks that part out, so I'm not able to see that. So maybe that was something they can probably look at fixing. I'm not sure. There it goes again. So it's just showing us he's in Sector 3 is lap 0 because it's an out lap. So a bit of a new feature here on the 2021 game so far. And there you go, engine song just switches on more as he starts to get a move on with it. So we get quite a few more drivers on their out laps here right about now. Neil as well. So is Mikey, Walker, Jolt, and Beefy still in the pits. We got Mr. Raid still in the pits. And we're going to have a look at Neil in a bit as well, see where he goes on this, because he's the only Mercedes left here in qualifying 2. Hopefully he's able to get a better time and possibly get his car over to Q3. We'll see how good that's going to go for that team there. So far as we have it, only one Ferrari here up into qualifying 2. I think we only got one Red Bull there as well. I think that is Mr. Ray. Just have a look quickly. Yep, that is him there. Looks like Neil already started his hot lap here, so let's have a quick look with him as he gets on through. I think Droft might be in front of him there, possibly as he gets on through with this lap here. So engine songs definitely are quite a bit different for me as we're getting on through qualifying here. I'm getting a good listen to that. Nice to see the graphic increase though in terms of the sparks getting from the underplate of the car as they get through the track there. So just one driver out of Q2 so far. Still waiting to see where the rest of them are going to be by the end of this session here. Down to about 6.5 minutes I think left here in Q2, so let's see where that takes us at the end. We only got 4 lap times in so far, but not doing overly bad as we are kind of what we had going on in qualifying 1. I think that we will have much an improvement over that though, going over to round 2 next week, Sunday, so we'll see what that's going to be like. But so far so good. Let's keep an eye out and see. We think we got some more lap times coming on in. So Bills now takes the fastest lap there, a 1:42.8 so far. And we got Michael Schofield. I'm a bit away from the screen. Hopefully I'm seeing that correctly. Michael Schofield 95 following us on Twitch. Thank you for the follow. Do appreciate that very, very much there. Probably about the 53. I'm going to count it one by one as we get on through. Hopefully we can hit 100 within maybe a 2 weeks span or so. We'll see what's going to go on with that. As you guys know, usually the main platform we usually stream on is usually YouTube. Since we started doing this multi-stream thing, we're usually live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook as it is at the moment. So working on getting our Twitch monetized there as well, but for the moment still using all 3 of them. So just kind of giving you guys the option of wherever you guys do want to watch this stream from. If you do want to get onto our Discord as well, that link is in the video description. Of course, if you're on Twitch, you might not be able to see that, so you might have to just search us on YouTube, get the link from there, and join on through that one there. As there are a lot of updates and then a lot of useful links that are going to be posted in my Discord as well. So link there in my description for the video on YouTube and on Facebook. I don't think the Twitch allows a description for that, so that's not going to be there. I do have to reset the Nightbot to function a bit better and probably just provide some more useful information as we are streaming. Alright, so few more lap times in. I think Draft is trying once again for another lap there. So Mr. Rage fastest lap in this session here so far, down to just about 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes left in the session for Q2 as we have it. Mr. Rage qualified on the medium so far, 142.5, 2 tenths down is Clarky there in second at 142.7, and another 10 down is Bills there with a 142.8. And he is currently out of the session. That's going to hold him off over into the next session though, so I don't think he has much to worry about. We got Chris Thompson there, 142.9, closes up the 142, stop 4. Not too bad so far. Mikey there, 143.0. And did this on the softs along with Kristoff, so not a bad time. I think Kristoff's quite impressive though. Okay, made it straight on in over to that. And we got one more driver joining us. That's Druff getting into the 142s now with a 142.588, about just about 7/10 slower than what Mr. Rage did. Not bad at all in the Williams there for that driver. Chris there in 7th at 143.7, not too bad so far. Cody down to 8, a 144.7. He is unfortunately out of qualifying 2, but down to 8. Should be able to make it on over to the next session as Walker and Sofdar are already out. BP still in the pits, might come out in the last minute, try to get a lap time in. Neil with a 145.0 so far, and let's see what's gonna happen before we get on down to the end of the session there. But I think so far so good with the lap times. I'm just waiting to see if Beefy will be getting back out on track, trying to possibly make a better time in. I think we have Clarky possibly trying to get back into the pits here, or possibly trying to start another lap, I'm not sure. And I think he's just getting back into pits, a bit too slow for trying another lap here at the moment. We got a Red Bull of Mr. Ray still working on track here. I think he's just getting back in on an in lap there right about now. And we finally do have Beefy on an out lap here in the AlphaTauri. Let's see if that Honda powered engine can put him up into the top three to get on over into qualifying three here. I'm seeing a bit of a mix of strategy as well in terms of tires here for qualifying two, as usually we see happening. So let's see how that works out getting over to Q3, because I think we already have our top 10 to go over there, because Walker and Sapter are already out of the session without any lap times, unfortunately. Okay, guys, here into Q3. Sorry, a bit of mic issue on that end there. Was off for just a bit. I'm not even sure how long. Hopefully it wasn't too long with that there. Anyway, yeah, so into Q3 here, we got our top 10 drivers so far. Let's see what our qualifying times will look like through this one and what the starting order is going to be as we get on through here. We're qualifying 3. Already down to about 10.5 minutes as the time is going to go away pretty quickly from these guys here. And we'll see what sort of lap times we will be expecting. Trying to have a look on who is currently first out on track, and that might just be Beefy here to be first to get on started with a hot lap. So I'm trying to get on board here and have a look on how exactly this is going to go as you get on through. I think the game might have a bit of an issue in terms of sounds when you switch on board to when you switch on to overhead, because I'm not sure if there's an issue or not, or if that's just how it sounds. We'll see how that goes on through. Yeah, there's definitely an issue with that. That's not how the engine sounds actually. Alright, so getting on through his first hot lap here in Q3. Let's see what the lap time is going to look like as we get around to this. Fastest so far has been some 142s. And we've actually had quite a few drivers into that, so let's see what's going to happen in that case there. As you can see, a few more drivers already beginning their hot laps there, so I think we're getting to that interesting point where we should start to see some lap times coming here pretty quickly. And this session will come to a close very quickly as well in terms of time, because we're already down to under 9 minutes. So let's see how that's going to be going, as just waiting for Beefy to finish up his first lap, getting to the end of Sector 2 already. Of course, everything's going to be a bit on the purple side for him. Alright, so we got a 142.1, and that's a pretty impressive lap so far from Beefy. Let's see who's going to be second getting across, and that is Bill Zero, 141.6. Getting quite more impressive. Kristaps out of the session, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the rest of the drivers where they are at. Mikey, he should be finishing a lap pretty soon. Cody in the Aston Martin is getting back into the pits as he invalidated that lap there. So that hasn't gone too well, or as he expected so far. Okay, so Mikey is the third, 142.7. Let's see where Clarky is at the moment in the house, about to finish this off. And I think he has the next Aston Martin possibly behind him. See if that's the case, I'm not sure who is actually coming behind him there. Alright, so he goes up into second now, 141.9. I'm getting quite impressive with this. I think Neil just went 143.2. In the Mercedes, and let's have a look at Chris here getting around on the track as well. A few more drivers still trying to get their lap times done with. Let's have a look at Mr. Rage as he's still impacted that current lap. Draft here getting through sector 2, so I'm going to switch back to Chris. See where he, he invalidated that lap on the final chicane there, I think, so that's a bit unfortunate. We'll have to go all the way back around, try to get a lap in before the session comes off to an end. On with the Williams driver here, Draft here, trying to, and there goes that lap there, he invalidated that, so he's going to have to try that once again. We do have a few lap times in so far here. So Bill's still fastest, 141.6. Down to the slowest time currently 143.2, which really is not that slow compared to what we got going on track. I think Chris having a bit of a difficult time keeping this car stable on track here right about now. Hopefully he's able to get a lap time before the session closes off here right about now. think he probably is trying to take some shortcuts, probably getting around. And definitely having some trouble with those curbs there, as we can see, losing the car. I think he's trying to make sure that it doesn't take any sort of damage. There we go. Carl Clark now takes fastest lap, a 141.5 in the Haas as well. So quite interesting. Let's have a look what's happening up front, because I think that's his teammate Bill there. So the Haas guys have hold on, kind of just held out on the front row so far. Professional pole goes to Clark at the moment with 5 minutes remaining in the session. Let's see if he's able to hold on to that as we close off in another 5 minutes. So still have some time for some drivers to get some faster time in. We will have at least a second round of laps getting on through it. Most of the drivers here on board with the Williams driver draft here, seeing where he's going to go at the end of this here right now. Alright, so he's getting back into the pits. I think we got Cody getting back on another outlap here. Was a bit unfortunate on his previous lap, so I think he's getting back out right and trying to get a good lap in. Christoph's unfortunately will probably be starting the race down near P10, as he's already out of the session. Looks like Chris has retired from the session there as well. That's going to put him down to 10. Christoph will be starting 9th in that case. Chris starting 10th. We now have 8 drivers remaining here in qualifying 3. This makes us wonder a bit here on how many drivers are going to be finishing this 50% race here at Spa when we do get started with that, because it has not been a I'm trying to find a word to use with it here. It hasn't been the best qualifying session so far in terms of drivers making on through to the end of the session. Forget about lap times on this one. The curb seemed to be catching a few drivers out unexpected deep on different parts of the track, as we can see with a few drivers as we saw before early on in the session, even here in Q3 about a few minutes ago. It does actually cause these drivers to spin quite a lot, so hopefully they can avoid that as we get on through the race session itself. We'll see what's going to happen in that case there. On board with Cody here right now, trying to get a hot lap in. We do have a few more drivers getting out on track there right now, so we should to see a few more lap times coming before this closes off. We got just about 2.5 minutes left here for qualifying 3. And then we get straight on over into that race session, which definitely we've been looking forward to see a full race here on the new game since it actually has been out. I mean, there have been quite a lot of races happening, mostly social races, not actual league season races getting on through. I'm not sure if you guys are hearing that engine sound the way I'm hearing it, but it's kind of off at first and then gets kind of switches to a more intense sound, which I think is the actual sound later on after I've been on the onboard for just a bit. So that's possibly a bit of a glitch still on the game. Hopefully all of those issues are fixed. It does seem to be a bit of an issue as we get on through here right now. So Mr. Rage on a hot lap as well as Mike in the Ferrari. They're definitely going to see some more lap times before we do close off the session. So let's see what's going to happen in that case as we're getting right down to it. Down to 1 minute 20 seconds and under right now. Alright, so 144 for Cody so far. Let's switch on back over to Mr. Rage here. Still in Sector 3 now. Finishing that off in the Red Bull. Let's see where he goes at the end of this lap. Hopefully getting a pretty good lap time in. So we got a 141.5.6, 142.1 from Beefy, as well as from Monkey. They're only separated by about 400 of a second. Neeler 143.2, Cody 144.8. Waiting for Troft and Mr. Right to get a lap time in. Hopefully Troft is able to get one in, as he's still on an out lap there at the moment. A purple sector coming off of Mr. Rage here as he gets into sector 3. So that was a purple sector 2 for him. Just a few seconds left, and Troft has begun his final lap here in qualifying 3. So he will be able to finish that lap, provided he doesn't invalidate it. Should get maybe a good enough lap time to move a few places up the order for the start of this race. So far, provisional pole still is held by Clarky there, as everyone still is running on track. And there goes Mr. Rage taking the fastest lap in the session and provisional pole for the start of the Belgium Grand Prix. 141.3 so far, 2/10 faster than what Clarky did. And going on over to Draft here, let's see if he's able to improve and any of these guys that we have here right about now. He does have a chance of getting at least somewhere in the middle of this. Clarky, I think, is on a lap there as well. Might be trying to improve on his time in case he did get beat, which he just did. So he does have to try and get a faster time, and if he wants to get back that provisional pole for the start of the race. Bill's down to third. We got Beefy down to fourth, which is really not too bad of a place to be here. Of course, it's going to be a bit tight getting into turn 1 for the race starts. We'll see how well that's going to go. Still waiting for Trump to finish off this lap. Hasn't invalidated the lap so far. Has a purple sector 2 there as well. So it's looked pretty good at getting an interesting lap time here. We'll see where this is going to be going at the end of this all here. Okay, so Dropped getting fastest lap in a session, all 3 sectors purple, and there goes Clarky taking that away from him. That was only held for a few seconds. Hopefully he enjoyed that there. Now Clarky back up into P1 here. So that's a provisional pole start for him. I think that's going to be it. Let's have a quick look at the results as we end off qualifying 3 here. It has been quite interesting. I mean, qualifying 1 did not start off as well as we expected. Qualifying 2 was a bit better. Qualifying 3, not too bad with what we got going on. So Clarky there in the Haas, fastest lap time in qualifying 3, and that puts him on provisional pole there for the start of the Belgium Grand Prix. Trout will be starting second on the grid. There was Williams there, not too bad. Haas and a Williams on the front row, not too bad to see. Mr. Rage and the Red will be starting in third. Mikey starts fourth in the Ferrari. Bills in the next house will start fifth. Beefy now AlphaTauri in sixth. Neil starting seventh in the Mercedes. Aston Martin with Cody starting eighth. McLaren Christoph starting ninth, and Chris there in the next Aston Martin starting in 10th. It was interesting to see both Aston Martin get down over into qualifying 3 as well, provided with the other teams that did make it on over 1 each mostly there. So either way, we're about to head straight into the race session. Let's see how interestingly that start is going to go with a short run down into turn 1. Once again, guys, don't forget to make sure you follow us on Twitch, subscribe to us on YouTube, and remember to check out the video description on YouTube. There is the link to join our Discord and to join the league's Discord as well for SLIPSTREAM Racing if you do want to drive for them or be a reserve driver. I think we already have all the cars on track here, and we are just now waiting for the start here. Let's see how long that is going to take to load. Got a bit of bouncy situation going on with the cars on the grid there at the moment. Looks to be all clear in terms of weather, so should be a pretty good start to the race. Hopefully a dry start all the way through to the race as well. There goes the timer starting in about 25 seconds. Okay, so getting started with our formation lap here right about now, as Clarky in the house is going to lead these guys around. And as we said, we got a full grid of 20 drivers for the first race here of the season on F1 2021 with Slipstream Racing. And we're going to go on through our grid. Let's have a look at tires that these guys have on. I don't think we need telemetry on right about now. We're going to keep that off for the moment. And let's have a look at the full starting grid as we have it there. So you guys can see what tires are going to be starting on. We'll switch that up in just a bit. So Clark is starting in P1 here. Draft starting alongside him on the front row there. Mr. Ray starting third. Mikey starts fourth. Bills will start fifth. You got Beefy starting sixth. Got Neil starting 7, Cody starting 8, Christoph starting 9, and we got Chris starting 10, Walker starting 11th. Softar is going to be starting 12. Didn't have the best qualifying 2 session there. We got Stu there starting 13, Owen down in 14th. We got X in 15th. We got Extremist there 16, Callum starting 17th, Vintage in 18th, Scooby there 19th, and Red Devil down there last and 20th on the grid. And interestingly enough, him and Vintage down in the back are going to be starting on the soft tires as well. So I think it's going to be a bit interesting to see how that is going to work out, or what sort of strategy exactly they're planning on running here. Either way, let's have a look and see how that's going to go. I think we're going to switch this on over a bit from tires, and we're going to put that on where is it? There we go. So I'm going to leave that on position change, which is usually what I do at the start of these races here. I'm going to take that off at least for now. And let's have a look. Well, you guys will be able to have a look on how positions are going to be changing down at the start of this race here, as we keep an eye on the front of the grid getting through turn 1, and then we're going to switch it down to the midfield going towards the back of the grid, just to keep an eye and see what incidents we might be able to catch, as we do expect a few incidents might happen with these guys being in a bit of a hurry to get on through. And there we have it. It's going to be a 22 lap race. We do expect either a 1-stop or 2-stop strategy from most of these guys. We might have some 3-stoppers happening depending on who takes damage, and safety cars, VSCs and whatnot are about to happen in this race. So just seconds away from the start here right about now, as we're gonna get on board. We can see Clarky there having the right side, Draft on the left side here in second. Let's see who gets a better run down into turn 1, as those lights are about to go here, and that is 5 lights on and are out. Let's see who gets a better run. Looks like Clarky gets a better run going down into turn 1. We're gonna have a look and see if they're gonna get a bit bunch up with that. The Ferrari trying to get alongside the Red Bull, as that Williams is taking around the outside. So far so good. Both Aston Martins out on the side of the track, but gets by pretty well. I think Mikey getting ahead of Bill, and a bit of a switch and a bit of a glitch happening here at the same time. Mikey is out of race, unfortunately. That was a Ferrari into the barriers on the side there. I think there's going to be a full safety car. No, it's actually a virtual safety car for that. Did expect actually to have a full safety car. Not sure why not. Either way, let's get on through with the rest. I think one driver already has a penalty there. X out of the race, retired from the session. Not sure what happened with that. That's 2 drivers out so far. And I think our leaderboard is mixed up quite a bit here, as we're on board with Clarky right about now. And there we go, it's fixed again. That was quite a quick fix for that either way. So quite an interesting start here. Unfortunate for the Ferrari driver, out of the race before the end of sector 1, which kind of was expected that something was going to happen. We're just trying to see what happened there. I know both Aston Martins went out wide onto after turn 1. I'm not sure how they got on backtrack safely, but they seem to be still in the race as it is so far. So we got Clark is still there, P1 Draft, and Mr. Ray still kept their position. The rest of the grid have changed up quite a bit, as we're under a I think we're under a full safety car here. Let's see what's happening. I'm trying to have a look at that right now, because it was supposed to just be a virtual safety car. So I'm trying to have a look if it's a full safety, and looks like it is a full safety car right about now, as we can see the safety car waiting at the end of the pit lane there for these guys to get on around. So it's going to be the next 2 to 2.5 laps under the safety car as we go on through so far with it at the moment here. So quite a bit of a change up in the grid order. As you guys can see there, we have 2 drivers out. Mikey was the first to go in the Ferrari. I think he took a bit of contact with another car and went straight into the barriers after turn 1. I'm not sure what happened with X there as he retired off the session there as well. So that was 2 drivers out. We did have just a VSC at first and then just switching over to a sole safety car. Probably because the second driver was out, I'm not sure. We have quite a few pit stops happening right about now. A lot of drivers into the pits. So going to be a bit of a busy pit. Let's have a look in the pit lane and see what's happening there right now. So I think cars are starting to get back out already. And we do have the new safety cars this year here. We do have the Aston Martin one as well as the Mercedes, and they're sharing it out. I think that's the Mercedes running out front there, because I think the Aston Martin is the bit of a green one. Yep, so I'm not sure why that safety car is bouncing so much. Anyway, let's get on through with this. So does look quite interesting with the livery that they did put on it, so not looking too bad at all. Usually than the regular silver that they used to have. So Clark is still leading this race out front, just waiting for this safety car to be on over with, and then you can get back to racing. Red Devil down to 17th, but up to 17 I should say, as he started the race there in 20th on the grid. We got Scooby there in 18th, still under this safety car right about now. 2 drivers with penalties so far. For whatever happened down in the start of this race. We tried to catch as much as we could until we caught everything there. I think you almost had a bit of a glitch with Mikey's car, because I did have to switch off of that after the screen started to flicker on and off a bit, just to avoid that. Hopefully the rest of the race can go off without a hitch. We're on into lap 2 right now, still following under the safety car. I assume probably will be ending off the safety car at the end of lap 3, maybe. Maybe at the end of lap 4. Hopefully by the end of lap 3 that should be able to be fixed. It's quite a long lap around here, so hopefully they've been able to fix whatever issues and clear off everything. All debris is on track, so we can safely get back to racing. But quite an interesting way to start off the first race of the season. 2 cars already out before the end of lap 1. Safety car on the opening lap, or VSC changing to a full safety car as we get on through with this. It looks like everyone is running pretty well so far under the safety car going on through. Of course, they're going to be trying to keep those tires as warm as possible, and before the restart is ready to happen. I'm going to switch this back over. Let's have a look at stops. So we have quite a few drivers who did stop in this race. Walker, Chris, Neil, Stu, Red Devil, and Scooby did do a stop. Their tires as it is, we can see what's going on. They all switch on over to mediums. Whoever did do a stop, it's a 5-second penalty both for Red Devil and Scooby there at the moment. We're not going to switch or try to have a look at why they have that penalty at the moment there. Quite sure that involved with something that happened down at the start of the race there. And looks like Owen has retired from the session as well. Not sure why he has retired. Not sure if I have Discord on. I'll probably have a look. And we're still trying to figure out why Owen has retired from the race. Looks like X was brake checked by someone. I'm not sure how to instant DNF from that. Trying to have a look to see what happened in Discord at the moment, guys. Let's see if we can get some more information on why drivers are out of the race. So 3 drivers out so far. We know why 2 of them are out. And looks like Owen is having some internet issues in terms of his Ethernet cable, so I think that's why he has left the game here. Was trying to avoid causing any problems in the session itself, so that kind of explains why we've lost all 3 drivers so far. So one in an accident, and one was brake checked, and one having internet issues. And now we got Bill out of the race there as well. What on earth is happening in this session? That's 4 drivers out, and we're still under the safety car going on through. What's happened down at the back is what I'm wondering right now, because trying to look through the rear of the outfield here, but we're not going to be able to see that what exactly happened there, unfortunately. Let's see, I think we're going to go one more lap under the safety car before we do switches on over and get back to racing again. Oh no, there we go. We're not going to do a lap. It's going to be at the end of this lap. And unfortunately, that was our race leader there straight into the barriers, losing his entire front wing. During the safety car, at the end of the final lap under the safety car, he has now dropped down to 9th, has absolutely no front wing on that car. And I'm not sure what happened with that, if that was just a bit of a slip or what happened. He was leading the race. He started P1, was leading the entire race through on the safety car going on through, didn't pit, and now we'll have to take a pit stop as the race is about to get restarted here. So let's have a look what's happening up front. Draft has now taken over the lead of the race. And Mr. Rage up into second, Beefy up into third. As they're about to get back restarted here, the track is green. As they get across the line, they can go back racing. 7/10 between P1, P2 with the Draft and Mr. Rage at the moment. Beefy about a second behind. He's going to try to catch up as much as he can. We're trying to have a look as all the cars get through turn 1. It looks like Cody and Safdar are pretty close off together as they try to get a bit side by side and still hold off through this. So the Mercedes chasing after Cody there in the Aston Martin. Let's see if he can hold on through using the slipstream as much as he can. And looks like that was going to end pretty badly for a second, but it's going pretty well so far. We got Extremist down in 6th, chasing after Sabdar as well. So a pretty interesting run through Sector 1 so far as they get on through. The Aston Martin still holds on to P4. Sabdar still in 5th, and Extremist still holds on to 6th there in the Romeo going on through. Callum about another 9/10 behind. So quite a close gap with a few cars down in midfield here as we get on through back with the restart after a fourth safety car on the opening lap of the race. Trying to see where we're going to go after the Safdar, getting pretty close behind Cody here in the Aston Martin. Let's see if he's able to hold him off. So far so good as he's trying to prevent him from going ahead, but it looks like he's side by side and looks like he might get away with that position. But Cody holds back onto it, so still back down to 5th for Safdar at the moment. We still got Extremists just behind these guys, just about 3/10 behind, and he's holding up pretty well. Going a little bit wide there, but with the Mercedes of Safdar. But let's see if he's able to get that position back up on board right about now as he's chasing after Cody. Getting a bit on the grass there as well as Extremist. We can see him coming in the back there. He's going to take it on the outside a long way around the final turn on that chicane. It's a bit slippery getting through that, so you're going to have to be a bit careful as they get back on the pit straight. Pretty close off together. A bit of minor contact, I think, as they get off that exit there. And they're back side by side going through to turn 1. The Alfa Romeo of Extreme is still chasing after the two of them. As we can see, very close getting around T1 and still holding this on through. Looks like Safdar finally got the move done. He's up into P4. But that Aston Martin is not giving this up as he's continuing. Oh, and he's losing that car right there. He just lost it on one of those curbs, and he is unfortunately out. Callum out as well. I think the Alpine just got out right there, so I think he might have had a bit of contact with that accident that just started to happen with Cody going off. I'm not sure if he just came off by himself. So that's another safety car, second safety car of the session, as 2 cars out on the exact same corner there. And that was kind of unfortunate, especially for Cody there, as he was having a pretty good go with Safdar to fight it for 4th position in this race. So a bit of, I guess, not so good luck for some of these drivers heading on through. Clarkey all the way down to 13. He started P1, was leading the race through a safety car, had a bit of a mishap at the final sector on the final lap. That safety car was going to be out and lost the entire front wing. He's down to 13th. Callum and Cody now out of this race. Let's see what's happening. So only one Alpine left in. Draft still leading out front by 1.2 seconds right now. Of course, now under the safety car, that's going to be on hold for just a bit. And this is only lap 5 as we have it here right about now, guys. Bit of an unfortunate a few incidents happening in the session so far here, but let's see what's going to happen as this gets on through. And we will be seeing a few pit stops happening here as we have the race leader getting into the pits right now. Let's see if Mr. Rage will go into the pits. It looks like he doesn't, and Beefy doesn't pit either. They're going to continue on out, and Mr. Rage will continue taking over the lead of the race right about now. Beefy going into second at the moment. Okay, so we have our pit stops going on through. Quite a few drivers in the pits and about to get back out. We're now entering into lap 6 here. So a bit of a change up in the order. Extremist now goes up into third. He was running 6th before this all happened here. Walker now up to 4th on the grid here, and he started down in 11th on the grid, took a pit stop already in this race, and is now up into P4 running on those mediums. And let's see where that's going to take him down to the end of the race. Our second safety car of this session within the first 5 laps here. I think we're following behind more with the safety car so far than actual racing. Let's see. Hopefully after this one here, we can finish up the race without another incident happening. But this Esports does tend to bring about some incidents or the other as we get on through this track. And some of these curves are a bit unforgiving, especially in the new game here as it is. And some of these guys are still getting used to that, so they do have to be careful and fighting on through for positions. They're going to push as much as they can, and incidents will tend to happen. But so far so good as we have it. Majority of our cars are still here. We got 14 drivers still left in this session. 6 unfortunately out so far. The last 2 were out on the exact same corner. I think that kind of just happened just after each other. Probably I think Callum probably just lost it there as well. I'm not sure. Probably the same way on that curb. And looks like we already have incidents being reported in the report room there for Slipstream Racing. Stewards are going to have to get to work just after this race to get that sorted through for these guys here. But so far so good in the race still. We still got a lot of drivers in. We still got a good race to finish off here on lap 6 still at the moment under the safety car. I guess we got like a lap or 2 more to go under the SC before we do get back racing. We'll see what that's going to be like, as we're just waiting to see what's going to happen. So we did have a few more cars take pit stops during this second safety car, and we do have a few guys who stayed out. So the Red Bull of Mr. Raid stayed out P1 as he took that over. Beefy move up into 2nd place on the grid. Extremist up to 3rd. Walker up to 4th. This is going to be quite interesting as these guys get back restarted with the race. See what's going to happen with that top 4 as it is. Neil and Soft are not gonna lie, I think these two are going to be a bit interesting to see what's going to happen with them. Both Mercedes running 8 and 9 here, just behind each other. They are going to be fighting for positions as we get back started with this race. Clarky there down to 12. Definitely sure he's going to be fighting his way through the grid on this restart here, as he didn't have the best of luck under the last safety car. So maybe this one might have helped him just a bit, and who knows. We'll see how that's going to work out for him, as we'll be getting back started to this race pretty soon. Hopefully at the end of this lap here, I think we should be able to get back everything going again. We'll see what's going to happen in that case there. Okay, so looks like we're about to get back restarted here at the end of this current lap as the safety car is already gone. So let's see what's going to happen between Mr. Rage, Beefy, Extremist, and Walker, and possibly Chris as well, as they all get back restarted with this. Looks like that Red Bull is trying to get away as fast as he can to get a wrong turn one here. But we got some Honda power getting on through as Beefy is keeping up pretty close off with him. But Extremist and Walker pretty close off together. And this is dangerously close for the two of them. Getting through this section of the track is where we had the incident happen with the previous safety car. Let's see, they do seem to get on through pretty well with that. Looks like Walker holds on pretty well at a car, loses the slipstream and gets alongside Extremist, and looks like he's going to get ahead of him and now go behind his teammate there. So up a position into P3 onto a podium position here if you can keep that true going on to the end of the race. We're into lap 8 here at the moment as well. The Extreme is keeping as close as he can to the rear of that AlphaTauri, possibly trying to get past that and get back that position if he can here. We'll see what's that's going to work out for him. Out in front though, Beefy here chasing after the race leader at the moment, Mr. Rage, who's trying to build a gap at the moment. Does have his teammate come behind him. Is it going to be a switch? And looks like it's going to be a switch between the AlphaTauri drivers. Walker took over a P2. Beefy is now down to third, and I think they did an automatic switch. There's a bit of a spin down in the back here with the Alfa Romeo of Extremis, and he's down to the side of the track. Not sure if he took damage. He's about to get back on here, trying to be careful with traffic. He might have some minor damage, but he is, I think it is the rear of the car that actually just hit the barriers there's a bit. So he seems to be okay as he gets back going again. He might have kept the car out of there, so actually being a DNF. And there is a Red Bull having some issues there. I think that is Stu there trying to get back on track. Might have some damage on that front wing, definitely so. As Neil is about 27 seconds behind him, and let's see how that catch-up is going to work. Back out in front, Mr. Ray still leading now by 1.4 seconds, and a 3-second penalty there for Kristoff so far. Walker and Beefy pretty close by still, about 7/10 between them. Draft now up into P4 as Extremist has lost that position with that spin. Savdar moves up into P5. Clarky now back up to 6 as he's fighting his way through the grid, and looks like he is definitely catching up to Savdar here, but might be losing back a bit of time now. 2.2 seconds is what the gap is. Let's see how close he's actually able to get. A bit of blurry behind him as does have a bit of a gap, and Beefy is out of race. What happened to his car? Trying to have a look here, and they're at the side of the track, right at the exit of that turn where it happened with Cody earlier on. I think that's the same spot there. Trying to have a look if we can have a look here once again as we get on uphill, and looks like that's going to be the third safety car in this race, and that is proving to be a very dangerous corner here, getting off to that right-hander there and the left-hander. They just kind of lose the car right around there. So unfortunately, we've lost about 3 drivers so far on that exact corner, and now we're down to about 13 drivers left in this race. Third safety car so far, and I think this might be a 11-lap safety car race, 11-lap actual racing happening, because we're gonna have to see how much we're able to finish off the session without actually having more incidents happen here. But it is quite slippery on some of these curves. I'll be honest with you, I have driven quite a few tracks on this game so far just to test it out, see what's going on, even just playing on the career mode to see what's happening. It's kind of the same thing in an online. Getting those curves are very, very dangerous in terms of getting on. If you do get on the power a bit too much or a bit too early, as you get off of them full at a like flat out speed, it does kind of just cause a spin and cause you to lose the car, and there's no getting it back after that. Let's see what's going to happen here. Mr. Rage and looks like Walker possibly as well getting. Now Walker is getting back. He's continuing. He's already took pace up earlier on. He's going to continue out and take over the lead of the race. Draft is continuing on behind of him right about now. He's taking over second. We got Savdar now taking over third. Has a penalty as well. Clarky up into fourth. Let's see how this order is going to change up a bit here right about now. Now we got Kristoff's going up to 5th, Vintage up to 6th, Red Devil, who started 20th on the grid, is now up into 7th on the grid here. Scooby there in the only remaining Alfino on track is up into 8th. Now we got Extremist running into 9th, had a bit of a mishap earlier on a few laps ago. We got Mr. Rage here running in 10th. Got Chris in 11th, Neil in 12th, Stu down to 13. Had a bit of a spin earlier on as well. So it looks like we might have to do one more lap under the safety car before we do get back racing. There's a lot of dirt on that AlphaTauri down at the side on the white portion of the bottom where it says Honda. Guess the graphic is that good on it. Either way, they are following on the behind the safety car for the third time. If you're now joining us on here, we've had 2 safety cars before this. This is our third one. We've lost 3 drivers on the exact same portion of the track, and it's been quite an eventful race so far from the start to this point here. And up to lap 10 here right about now. We're about to get around to the halfway point of the race. I think without any safety cars, we would have been maybe a few laps more into the race so far. But I think we're going to have to work with what we got going on here at the moment. So Walker still leads. Droft now up to second. Sofdar running third. Clock in fourth. Christoph's now running fifth. Vintage in sixth. Red Devil down to 7 there. Scooby running 8. Extreme is running 9. Mr. is running 10. That's for our top 10 so far. Unfortunate though to see so many drivers out of the session. We're going to see how this continues on through with the rest of the drivers that do remain here. I haven't seen any extreme glitches in it so far as we've gone on through, but I think there are some issues in terms of the performance of these cars in terms of braking and turning. I don't think it's so much about the speed. I think mostly it's the braking and turning and getting off some of these curves. It's a bit more tricky than it was on F1 2020, which we're all used to. So I think most of the guys are still getting used to here on 2021. Let's see what that's going to work. We got 2 more drivers into the pit lane there at the moment, and I think this should be our final lap under the safety car here. We should be able to get back racing after this. So that's going to be going into lap 12, and we've definitely reached the halfway point of the race so far. Once again, to everyone currently joining us on live with the session here, or if you're watching a video afterwards, whichever it is, make sure you guys are subscribed to us on YouTube. Do follow us on Twitch and Facebook as well. And remember, there are links in the description of this video on YouTube in terms of joining either my Discord or joining the league's Discord, Slipstream Racing League, if you want to race for the league, or if you're looking to be a reserve driver, because I think they are looking for some drivers, especially for the Saturday league that they got going on, and they might be reserve drivers for the other days as well, because they do run on Sundays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 4 days of racing in the league. So feel free to join on through and just have a look and probably go through the testing if you need to. And you can be in one of these races. Now, we've seen these guys race race after race after race on F1 2020. We know they're pretty good drivers, actually very good drivers. So I know we all know they're just adjusting still to the game as it is. And we did expect not the best of races to happen on the first race of the season with everyone going on through. We got another first race of the season happening tomorrow with another league. We'll see how that's going to happen, how that's going to go on through in terms of qualifying and the race itself. I think it's going to be full qualifying and a 50% race as we had here today as well. So that's already scheduled on our YouTube channel, so do have a look at that. Leave us an early like if you need to. Do leave a like on this video as well. Do appreciate you guys do that. And I think we have the safety car going in on this lap race. We're about to get back racing, and let's see how the second half of this race is gonna go in terms of how many more safety cars we're gonna have. Anyone want to put a bet on it, how many more safety cars you guys do expect? I expect possibly 2 more. Either 1 or 2 more to happen before I think there's going to be 2 more happening before we get to the end of the race, but it could just be going off without any issues all the way to the end of the race. Let's see what's going to happen in that case, because I think hopefully we've all adjusted to what's happening on the track so far. So let's see how the rest of this race goes as we're about to get back racing here. Walker's already trying to get a gap against a draft there in P1, and he gets a bit of a gap going. There's a Ferrari down at the back, spun around. I think that's Vintage there. Yep, that was vintage. He's all the way down at the back of the grid in 13th at the moment now as he gets on through. On board with Walker here leading the race here at the moment. We got the Williams of Drop coming up behind him in second. He's within a second trying to catch him up. So let's see how much longer it's going to take before he actually catches him. I think we do have some bit of a glitch happening on my end possibly there. Let's see what's happening with that. Either way, we got some purple sectors happening as well. A bit of drifting with the Mercedes of Savdar getting around that corner there as he gets on through. So 4/10 between Walker and Draft after that restart there. Pretty good restart so far. We haven't lost another driver so far. Let's see what's happening down in the back of the grid here with Chris in the Aston Martin. Trying to get around that Red Bull and a bit of a spin from him as he loses control of that car. They might have had some minor contact there. He's going to try to get back going here right now. Mr. Rage here in the Red Bull chasing after Neil in front of him. I think in the Mercedes there. So let's see how that battle is going to go on through. A pretty close gap starting to form here as he's using the slipstream just a bit, trying to get around. Let's see how that's going to go. They do have an Alpine in front of them, and that is, I think, Scooby there, trying to keep that car away from these two if he can. Let's get on the overhead cam a bit and see what's happening. And there goes the Mercedes off track a bit, and a bit of contact with the Red Bull of Mr. Rage. Into the wall he goes, and that's going to be some damage, potential damage on that front wing. I think that was possibly a bit unavoidable there as well, because the Mercedes in front of him had a bit of an issue and he just went straight into the back of it. I don't think there was time enough for him to brake to avoid that there. His teammate in the next Red Bull is going to go ahead as he goes into the pits there right now. That's not going to be a safety car for that. That was just a minor incident. Just a bit of debris on track to be cleared off by the marshals there, and we're good to go again. Let's get on out in front now, see what's happening. I think the drama at the back might be done for now. So we're back out in front here with Draft, who's now leading the race. I'm not even sure how that even happened, as we were a bit focused on the back of the grid, so we didn't actually get to see how that switch happened there. Maybe Walker made a mistake and lost the lead. He's now down by 7/10 in second place. Savdar chasing after him in the next Mercedes here. And then we have Clarky, who's fighting his way back up the grid at the moment. He's running fourth and chasing after Savdar, about 4/10 behind as well. Let's keep on with him and have a look how this goes on through. Gap of about 3/10 as that Mercedes goes a bit wide. I think he's trying to hold on as much as he can here to the end of this race. As we can see, these cars are having a bit of trouble in terms of getting on and off those curves. They are a bit more slippery than expected. You gotta just be careful with the throttle getting on them and getting off as well. So let's see what's happening in that case. Out front, our gap is still a bit small between Savdar and Clarky. So we're trying to follow on with these to see how much more they're going to be chasing after each other before and sort of switch happens. Walker is being caught up by Savdar right about now as well, but Clark is catching up to Savdar at the same time. So going to be very interesting. Draft getting the fastest lap out front, 1:44.6, and he's ahead by 1.1 seconds. And looks like we got some penalties being handed out there as well. Looks like everyone's getting through that corner pretty well right about now. I think they're being a little more careful with it as well. Not sure where the gaps are, but let's have a look on board with Savdar here. We got Clarky coming behind of him. He's getting some purple sectors, but does need to keep that car away from Clarky at the moment to not lose that position. And there goes the Haas trying to get alongside him. Definitely looking for a gap to go on here, and he's now alongside him and goes side by side with the Mercedes, gets by up into third place, and that's a podium position for him. I think he's going to try to keep that position as much as he can, getting through to the rest of the race. Gap is now about 4/10 between them as he's trying to build a gap and go on ahead and catch up to Walker there in second. Hopefully he's able to do it. Let's see if it's going to work, because it's now Walker back up into the lead. What happened to Draft here? I think he had a bit of a spin, because he's now getting back going. He's now down into fourth, Minor mistakes are costing them dearly in this race. Walker back up into the lead, Clarky now into second, and he's going to try and fight his way back up into the lead there as well, because he did start in P1, was leading the race until he had a bit of an unfortunate incident on the first safety car while it was ending. So let's see how much more time he needs to actually catch up. We're on lap 14 of 22. We got about 8.5 laps left before the end of this race. Looks like Clark is gaining some time on soft out there, about 8 tenths ahead, trying to catch up to Walker as much and as fast as he can. Mr. Rage down in 12, trying to get, by experience, I think, about 4 tenths between the two of them. And that was Clarky almost losing that car. I think he has had to let off the throttle just a bit to make sure he didn't lose the rear end of the car there. That SLIPSTREAM is working pretty well there for Clark is he gets on through, and let's see what's gonna happen as he continues with this 4:10 gap that he has. I think we're gonna put telemetry on. You guys can have a look when they're using the ERS. And looks like we have lost Stu Dong in the back, but let's see what's happening between Mr. Rage and Extremist. And we have another safety car there. Softar is out of the race, unfortunately. What has happened to his car? Let's see if we're going to be able to have a look. And looks like it might be one more of those incidents where we lose a car on that specific corner. Yeah, and I think his car is already gone. That's going to be our 4th safety car in this race so far. And we got, I think, probably the final round of pit stops happening in the pit lane here right about now. Alright, so that's Walker getting back out in front. Clarky getting back out in second. Draft probably is going to be back out in third. Red Devil 4th. And let's see how that order gets mixed up just a little bit here, as they're going under the 4th safety car right about now. I think this should be our final one, because after this it will just be a few laps left to complete the race there. Let's have a look at what penalties look like so far, at least. So it's a 5-second penalty for Clarky, which he's going to have to figure out how to deal with, as there are no more pit stops left in this race for him here. That's going to be 5-second added to his time. Looks like Neil is out of it as well. That's going to be 9 drivers remaining in the race so far, out of 20, and that is incredible to see at this point here. We do have Red Devil with a 3-second penalty as well. Under the final safety car, hopefully the final safety car. We'll see what's going to happen as they finish off this race here. Everyone currently running on soft tires as it is, and looks like the only driver on older tires there is going to be Chris with 4 laps on them, and looks like he definitely will be finishing off the race on that set of tires that he currently has there. That's how many pit stops have been taken in the race by these drivers so far. 4 pit stops for Scooby there in the I think still running in this race as well, so not too bad with that. Let's have a look at who's going to be getting driver of the day. It might just be Red Devil, as he started down at the back of the grid all the way up into 5th right about now. Of course, does have a penalty. Let's see if that is going to affect his finishing position there or not. I think we're going to leave it at that there for now. Let's take off telemetry, as no use of having that on screen at the moment. So Walker P1, Clarky P2, Draft in 3rd, Chris there 4th, Red Devil 5th, Scooby 6th, Bristol Rage 7, Vintage 8, Extremist in 9th. Looks like every single driver will be getting points at least for the race. All I think they actually have to do here right about now is just finish the race, just to make sure that they do get some points in here. Okay, so I think we have just one more lap to go under the safety car. We should be ending off the safety car at the end of lap 17. So we'll have lap 18 to 22 to finish off with a few laps of racing before this race is over. First race here of the season on F1 2021 with Slipstream Racing League Sunday Division. And not the best of qualifying 1. Qualifying 2, qualifying 3 was actually pretty interesting, went pretty well. The race start, a bit of an incident on that race start going on through. Some of these curbs have been very difficult for drivers to be dealing with. That's why we currently only have 9 drivers left to finish this race. Hopefully this 9 can finish, because I think they will try their best to finish the race, because they are going to be getting points, being there's not more than 10 drivers to finish a race here. So a bit of unfortunate on that end, but I think it's going to be a bit better going on to the second round of the season on next week Sunday. We'll see what's going to happen with that there. Okay, so we already have the safety car going off into the distance here on the end of lap 17. Remember, it's only a 22 lap race. We're about to get back restarted with this. So let's have a look at what's happening up front. Of course, we know Clarky has a 5-second penalty. Red Devil has a 3-second penalty. Only 9 drivers remain. Everyone's going to get points. That is provided if they finish the race, of course, because I highly doubt the league is going to award them any points if they have a DNF here. Either way, let's see how the rest of the race is going to go on through. It has been quite an interesting and entertaining race so far, I'll say, from my end of things here. Let's have a look. So Walker gets back. We started here, trying to get away from Clarky as much as he can. Let's have a look on board, and he is getting away. Draft, of course, keeping up with Clarky going on through Sector 1 here right about now. I'm trying to have a good look at this. 4 tenths between the two of them. Walker out by 9 tenths out in front as he gets on with that. And a pretty interesting run. I think Clarky might be using a bit of the slipstream, trying to catch up to Walker out front. He is weaving away, trying to keep him out of the slipstream, but not working as well as he expected. He's still in that stream going on through. Gap is still within a second. Looks like Chris takes a 3-second penalty. That's going to affect him a bit going to the end of the race. Hopefully he's able to get away from the car behind the him. Okay, I think the car behind him has a 3-second penalty as well, and that is Red Devil. So I think that might kind of just even the two of them out, but it's going to possibly cost him catching up the draft and possibly getting another position. Of course, just a few laps left on lap 18 already, getting on through. There's about four and a half maybe laps left to go before we close out the race. Top 3 pretty close between them as they go on through, and that is Clarky taking another penalty. That's going to be 8 seconds of penalty for him to deal with. Walker takes possibly a 3 or 5 second penalty. We got to have a look at that and see what's happening in that case there. And it looks like he takes a 3-second penalty. We're going to leave these on penalties for now and let it go on the end of the race on that. We know everyone's running on the soft tires, so we're not going to put that on. And let's see what's happened before we get off to the end. Looks like Chris and Red Devil was kind of just even out with penalties. Of course, Walker and Clark here not so much, but looks like they might still finish P1 for Walker. I'm not so sure it's going to be a P2 finish for Clark. He might have to go down to 3rd on the grid with an 8-second penalty. So that's going to possibly put a draft up to 2nd, depending on how the rest of the next few laps goes, because it has gone very unexpected in terms of this race so far. We've lost about 3 drivers to that corner there. They just went by. So far in the race, Clocky weaving a bit away out front, they're just trying to keep each other out of that slipstream on that very long run. And looks like Clark is still caught up to Walker quite a bit. Let's have a look on board with these top 3 as they have it right now, fighting for P1 in the race. Of course, Drafter has a pretty good chance of getting up and taking away P1 away from Walker if he can keep that gap within a second of Clarky. If Clarky keeps this close to Walker going to the next 3 laps at least, I think he might just steal that win. Might make it a bit better if he actually gets by Clarky, but I think that might be a bit difficult at this point. I don't think he's going to allow it to happen with the way the gap is. And it might be a bit dangerous trying to attempt that. He's going to have to make sure he has a pretty good go at it before doing it. As you can see, Clarky getting a bit twitchy on those curbs as well. Might actually end up losing that car if he's not careful, so they're going to have to be extremely careful in the next 3 laps that they have remaining here. And there's a lot of weaving going on those straights, just trying to keep the car behind of them from actually getting by. Gaps are now down to about 2/10 between the top 3 so far as it is. It's about 3/10 between Clarky and Drawford P2. Alright, so into lap 19, DRS is now back online, so that's going to help them as a bit. Of course, they still have their ERS to use for overtake. I think we're just going to put that back on and have a look at telemetry as they get on through that. Clarky has about 45% ERS to use here at the moment, and he's using it as much as he can, using the slipstream as well. And looks like he might take it out around the outside to try and get around. Actually gets a position away from Walker, down into second. He goes, and Red Devil somehow, for some reason, is out of the race. I'm not sure what happened down at the back. Hopefully not another safety car. He's out in sector 1. So something definitely happened there. Looks like we might have a yellow flag going on in that sector of the track, at least for now. Now we're up into lap 20. Clarky leads, Walker down to second. Of course, both of these cars still have penalties dropped. They're about 6/10 behind. Walker has no penalties as yet, and he's looking pretty good at still getting away with the race win if he can keep the rest of this race clean and avoid any penalties and just keep the gap within a second. I think he just needs to keep it within 2 seconds of our Walker, and I think he gets the race win automatically at the end of this. So now we're down to 8 drivers out of 20 drivers who started the race. And this is going quite interesting, well, between our top 3 so far. I don't think either of them are going to back down from this one. They have, I think all of them have fresh tires on with those soft tires going on through. Clarky gets the fastest lap now, 142.7. Surprisingly enough, you wouldn't expect to see a Haas out front leading the race. First race of the season as well, as the AlphaTauri chases after him. Let's see how well this goes through this section. They're going to have to go through here one more time and avoid having any incidents on that. And they went through that pretty well. Drop still about 3 seconds away from Walker, and let's see if we have any weaving going on through this portion. I think they just kept it straight just to avoid losing speed weaving around the track. Draft is down to about a 10th behind Walker right now. Not sure if he's going to take the chance and try to make that overtake work, or might just hold it down behind them and just take away the win just by default here. And that's another 3-second penalty going to Clarky. That's 11 seconds of penalties for him right about now. Definitely losing the race win here. He will get across the line P1 if he can hold on for another lap and a half here. Walker possibly will be able to go across the line second, but still has that 3-second penalty. So Draft just needs to keep within 3 seconds, and I think he gets away with the win. Walker might still get away with second place on the grid, but I'm not sure how far Clarky is going to go down, because I think he actually might just go down to third. So the 3 of them still possibly will be on the podium, because Chris down there in fourth is about 18 seconds behind with a 3-second penalty. That puts him at least 21.5 seconds away from them. And he seems to be losing some time down at the back there as well, so I don't think that's working out too well for him. Vintage another 2.1 seconds behind. Extremist takes a penalty down there in 6th. I think he might just finish right where he is. 6 for him, 7 for Rage, and Scooby Doo will finish 8. Looks like Vintage is trying to keep a gap where he might be able to take away fourth place away from Chris, hopefully for him. We'll see how that works. Into the final lap. Final time to go through this section of the track, which has been the most dangerous one going on through this race so far. That's a lot of dirt on the Honda sign down at the back of this car so far. Draft getting extremely close. Not sure if he's going to be able to make that overtake work. Still holds on side by side with the AlphaTauri, and no, doesn't actually get it to work. Goes a bit off track and actually gets ahead up into second here. Actually got that done up into second, so he's chasing after Clarky now on the final lap of the race with 11 seconds of penalties. Clarky is going to go across the line P1, but not unfortunate to be able to keep it. That's going to be lost over to Draft. He will be able to take the win. Walker will be able to move up into second. Clarky is going to have to move down to third, and I think Chris and Vintage going to have a bit of a switch for fourth and fifth, and the rest of the grid should finish right about where they are there at the moment. Red Devil is now out, so I'm not sure who is next in line to get driver of the day on this one. We'll have a look at that as the race finishes off. Final lap, final sector of the track to go, so really don't want to make a switch and check that right about now. Actually, we could just make a quick look at that. And looks like that might be Vintage there. Let's have a look if that's what's going to happen as they are about to get across the final chicane and gets across. So Clarky will go across the line P1, but will not be able to keep the win. Unfortunately for him, was a good drive to try and do it. Drop there, getting up in the second, takes away the win from Clarky, goes up to P1. Walker takes away second because of the penalty that he had. Clarky down with 11 seconds of penalties, goes down to third. Chris is, let's see where he is. He's still being chased by Vintage there. 1.3 seconds is what that gap is. So Aston Martin will be losing a position here. Does, however, get across the line P4. Vintage does a switch with him to P4, goes down to 5th. Extreme is coming around and has Mr. Ray just about a 10th behind him right now. So in the final sector of the track, these two are still fighting out for P6. Of course, that does mean more points, finishing 6th rather than finishing 7th. And being the first, and that's a Red Bull into the wall there, unfortunately. We did catch a bit of a glimpse of that. So he's unfortunately out, and that means no points for him as he's stuck on track there right about now. So Extremis goes across the line for P6. Scooby come around, will take 7 in the Alpine, and that's going to be it for the Belgian Grand Prix here for Slipstream Racing. Round 1 for the season on F1 2021 so far. Not the kind of race we expected, but still quite an interesting finish. And Vintage does take driver of the day, so good job on him for that. Not too bad with that finish here. We'll still have one final look at the race results before we do get off here session here. Not the kind of mix you expect to be on the podium of the first race, but let's have a look here. So Drafted Williams finishes in P1, takes the win for that race. And then we got Walker in the AlphaTauri, takes second place on the grid there. Not a bad finish for him after starting 11th. Vintage started 18th and takes third on the podium with him. Not too bad with that. So then we got Chris there finishing 4th. And Clarky goes all the way down to 5th because of those penalties that he did have the fastest lap there though, which possibly will earn him an extra point there for the first race. Extremist finishes 6th, Scooby there in 7th. And I think that was it for race finishes. Only 7 drivers to finish with 20 starting the race. And I think we're not going to go through the rest because really I don't think anyone else gets any point for that. And we can see how many penalties were handed out throughout the session. There are quite a few DNFs for the first race, but not too bad. Either way, that's it for round 1 here for Slipstream Racing. Guys, remember the link to the Discord invite for my Discord and for the league Discord is in the description of the video. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitch. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube as well. And make sure to leave a like on the video. Thank you guys for joining on with us. We do have another race stream coming up tomorrow at 3. Well, it's going to be 3 p.m. my time. It's going to be about 8 p.m. British time. So I'll see you guys then again for that one. And once again, next week, Sunday, the same time for round 2 here.